Welcome to the Housing Needs Dashboard, an interactive tool that showcases data on key housing metrics and indicators in communities across California. You can quickly get to the dashboard by hovering over Resources in the navigation menu and then pressing Housing Needs Dashboard. Once you've reached the dashboard, you'll see that it has two main functions. One, it assembles and visualizes the latest available administrative data, U.S. Census data, and real estate data on housing need, market conditions, federal and state funding, and production and preservation. And two, it gives users the ability to actually use this data in their communities, in their work, and in their decision-making. California Housing Partnership has created reports on housing needs since 2014 for a limited number of geographies, and now users can access this data and much more for all 58 counties. Here's what you need to get started. First, the default view for the Housing Needs Dashboard is an introductory splash screen, where you're provided with an overview of the dashboard itself and, most importantly, the option to select the geographies you're most interested in exploring. You can pick one county, perhaps the county you live in, or you can select several at once, up to 4, by using the drop-down button or making your selections in the map itself. You can also select California if you'd like a statewide comparison. When you're ready to view the results, press See Results. Now, you'll notice that the geography selector remains fixed on the left-hand panel of the screen. If you'd like to change geographies at any point, you can do so here using the drop-down menu or the map. You can also quickly remove geographies simply by pressing the blue X button to the right of the name. As you can see from the top navigation of the dashboard, the data has been organized into 4 different categories: housing need, market trends, state and federal funding, and production and preservation. Each of these categories highlights 2 to 4 key housing indicators. You can click through each tab to see the different charts and tables available. There are a few important features worth highlighting. The first is that each graphic is interactive. You can hover over a segment of the graph with your mouse cursor to learn more about the underlying data, or tap on it when on a touchscreen device. So here, I can see the exact values for each funding source. You can also zoom into the graphic if you want to see a certain segment of the data more clearly. All you have to do is click and drag the cursor to create a rectangle around the section of information you're interested in seeing more closely, and it'll zoom in automatically. On a touchscreen device, you can pinch and zoom within each chart. To return to the original view, simply press Reset Zoom. You can also download each graphic by pressing this button. You can save it as a JPEG image to add it to a report or a slide deck or share it with a colleague. Press the information icon, the eye enclosed in a circle here, for more information about each graphic, including the graphic's methodology and data sources. Another key feature is the ability to compare data across multiple geographies. As I mentioned before, you can add and remove geographies using this area on the left-hand side. Every time you select a new geography, these graphics stack on the page in the order they appear on the left-hand side. So I'll see the indicators for California first, then when I scroll down, I'll see Sacramento counties, and then right below that is San Diego County. Now, this view is great if you want to see all of the indicators at once, but it can be a bit crowded if you just want to compare one graphic across multiple counties. Using the checkboxes back in the top navigation tab, you can select and deselect specific indicators. So let's say you'd like to compare the state funding graphic for these 3 geographies only. Simply uncheck state and federal funding, and it will be removed from the view for all the geographies. That way, you can more clearly compare the metrics you're most interested in. The dashboard also contains historical trend data. The default view for most graphics is the most recent year of data, like the shortfall graphic and the cost burden graphic here. Some compare to a baseline year, like the state and federal funding graphic. Others look at 10 or more years of data, like in the state-only funding graphic. For the 1 to 2 year charts, you can view historical versions by selecting Historical here. As you can see, this transforms the state and federal funding graphic so you can see the last 11 years of data. At any point, if you want to refresh the checkbox and drop down selections you made back to their original or default state, you can click the Reset Geographies and Charts button here. The last feature we'd like to highlight is the Download Report function. Pre-designed 4-page county reports, similar to our annual housing need publications, are housed directly in the dashboard itself. Press the PDF report button here beside the geography name, and the report will open in a new tab. You can then download it, print it, or share it with your network for advocacy or informational purposes. Page 1 of these reports highlights key data findings. Pages 2 and 3 show core housing need indicators from the dashboard. And the last page has our data sources and methodology, as well as policy recommendations for the state to take action in light of the trends and challenges highlighted in this data. The California Housing Partnership is eager to grow and develop the Housing Needs Dashboard over the coming months. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let us know by submitting them here. If you'd like to learn more about the methodology and data sources powering the dashboard, click on the methodology hyperlink here. Join our mailing list to receive updates on the dashboard, including notifications about new data sets, expanded functionality, and information on other research produced by the California Housing Partnership to help create and preserve affordable and sustainable homes in California. Thanks for tuning in.